Okay, welcome to this yin yoga for winter solstice and water element. We're going to start this class in wide kneed child's pose. If that doesn't work for your knees and ankles, you can always take knees to chest pose against the wall. You're going to be in this pose for a nice long 10 minutes so we can really build those energy reserves and conserve that energy. So you can make your way into the pose. And let's just start by reviewing the principles of yin. You want to find that appropriate edge. So you want to be able to feel the pressure along the inside of the legs and the pulling and tugging of the tissues along the inside of the legs. And you want it to be something that you can soften into, be still with, and stay with for that 10 minutes. So when we say soften, you want to soften through your joints, like your ankles, your knees, your hips, your jaw, your shoulders. And the organs of water element season and winter are your kidneys and your bladder. So you can really breathe deeply into your kidneys here and your low back. And I love just imagining this like a battery, you know, when you charge your phone sometimes, or any rechargeable batteries, you'll see the little image of the battery light charging up. And you can imagine as you inhale, the little battery pack of your kidneys charging. So that's a really good point of focus here. So, as we begin this class, we give thanks for the sheltering of darkness to conserve our energy, and the sheltering of darkness that allows all of our fellow Sangha members to conserve their energy at this time of year. And as you breathe into your kidneys, reflect on the blessings of the restful darkness of winter and water element season, when we get the opportunity to put down our busy daytime work earlier than we do all of the rest of the year. As you rest in this wide-kneed child's pose, reflect on this amazing spiritual gift of being able to restore your strength and energy in winter and water element season. With the return of the light, we remember that our energy and vibrancy will return with wood and fire element seasons. As we embark on this practice to conserve our energy through our kidney and water element season, we embrace the quiet, the stillness and peace, the inner listening and wisdom that we have been given together. We also remember that we do not practice alone. We are joined in practice with others who are joining in this shelter of darkness. We can honor this connection and interconnection We can send forth prayers for all who need this time to conserve their energy in water element season, including yourself. And give thanks for the wisdom to recognize your need, to reach out for loving assistance from each other and from the source of all being. Okay, very slowly you're going to release this pose from your body and just come and lie on your back so your legs can be straight and so that you can receive the pose with the rebound. And we're going to make our way up to wide-legged seated forward fold. So dragonfly pose. And for this pose, you can take your folded blanket and you can sit on the edge of it so that it's easier to roll your pelvis over your leg bones. And then you might want to use your bolster as well so that you're supported in this forward fold. You can take your bolster here and come into a seated forward fold. So give yourself some time to settle into this pose, to find an appropriate edge. You can feel the sensation along the backs of your legs in this pose. That would be your bladder meridian. And then on the insides of your legs would be your kidney meridian here. And you can continue to breathe into your low back here and feed your kidneys for conserving your energy. You are going to be in this pose for 10 minutes, so you've got just under 9 minutes left in this pose. So I have a poem for you here called Wintering by Sandra Lim. The stars gave up their deep drifting and touched bottom. No clouds toppled across the snow wilderness. No gloom dark tree glitter winding and twining its silks. Blankness, egg quiet. The level sprawl of the world drew away tinily in every direction. Afternoons remained unknown to each other. Yet loss keeps thudding past my house, telling me I'm not done. My heart still leaping like ladybugs. The stars gave up their deep drifting and touched bottom. No clouds toppled across the snow wilderness. No gloom, dark tree glitter winding, entwining its silks. Blankness, egg quiet. The level sprawl of the world drew away tinily in every direction. Afternoons remained unknown to each other, yet loss keeps thudding past my house, telling me I'm not done. My heart still leaping like ladybugs. And just if this pose bothers your low back, because it's a straight leg forward fold, you can always do goddess forward fold, Baddha Konasana. That would be a good alternative. So winter solstice is a time of quiet energy where you get the opportunity to look within yourself and focus on conserving your energy, stillness, inner listening, and connecting with your inner wisdom. It's really a time to set aside your intentions and aspirations until spring and trust that there's much gestation that is happening in the darkest time of year. The winter solstice celebrates the longest hours of darkness. And darkness is so much more than the absence of light. It can be a nurturing presence, an invitation to slow down and look inwards. This darkness invites stillness, inner listening, and deep self-reflection. Okay, so you're going to slowly release this pose out of your body. Slowly bring your legs in because you've been in this pose for a long time. So just gently gather your legs in. Maybe just do a little gentle knees to chest pose from the seated position. And then we'll come and lie down just to receive that posture, to feel the rebound through the backs of the legs, through the inner legs. Feel the effects of this posture. Okay. Our next pose, I'm going to give you a choice, and I'm going to give you the first choice here on your back. The one choice would be to do a reclined tree pose, so you can do it lying on your back. The other choice would be to do crocodile pose, which would be front lying with a leg up to the side. So you can choose what you want to do. The point is to pull and pressurize the tissues on the insides of the legs to affect the kidney meridian. So if you choose to do it on your back, you would just be here with a leg up to the side doing reclined tree pose. And I think that it just depends on the size of your chest. If you have a larger chest, it may be less comfortable to lie on your belly. So it just depends on your comfort lying on your belly. You might choose to do the reclined tree instead. Okay, so we're going to be in this pose 5 minutes each side. So let's start with your right leg up to the side or out to the side if you're in tree pose. And just find a position where there's some tension in that leg. You may need to straighten it a little bit more if you're not feeling any pulling and pressurizing in the tissue. You could also put a blanket underneath the inside of the knee if that's feeling a little tender there. So remember to take care of yourself here. And you can continue that practice of breathing into your kidneys. So this is a poem by Rosemary Watola Traumer. One day when the world is weighty, dark, and dense with need, I want to be the earthworm that gives itself over to tunneling, its every movement and act of bringing spaciousness. And when the minutes feel crushed by urgency, I want to meet the world worm-like, which is to say grounded, consistent, even slow. No matter how desperate the situation, the worm does not tunnel faster nor burrow more. It knows it can take decades to build fine soil. To whatever is compacted, the worm offers its good worm work, quietly bringing porosity to what is trodden, compressed. So often in my rush to repair, I end up exhausted. Let my gift to the world be my consistency, a devotion to openness, my willingness to be with what is, Let my gift to myself be patience as I tend to what is dense and dark. On a day when the world is weighty, dark, and dense with need, I want to be the earthworm that gives itself over to tunneling. It's every movement an act of bringing spaciousness. And when minutes feel crushed by urgency, I want to meet the world worm-like, which is to say grounded, consistent, even slow. No matter how desperate the situation, the worm does not tunnel faster, nor burrow more. It knows it can take decades to build fine soil. To whatever is compacted, the worm offers its good wormwork, quietly bringing porosity to whatever is trodden, compressed. So often in my rush to repair, I end up exhausted. Let my gift to the world be my constancy, a devotion to openness, my willingness to be with what is. Let my gift to myself be patience as I tend what is dense and dark. Okay, so you're going to gather yourself up either from reclined tree or this half crocodile pose and just make your way onto your back to feel the rebound. And then we're going to do this pose on the other side. So you're either going to take reclined tree on the left side, or you're going to come into crocodile pose with the left leg up to the side. And as I did on the other side, it can be nice to have that blanket for the inside of your knee, to treat your knee tenderly. You want to feel that pulling and pressure of the tissue on the inside of your leg. So that may mean bring your leg up a little bit higher or opening your leg out a little bit more. You're going to be in your pose for 5 minutes, so make sure you take the time to settle in and be comfortable. And again, breathing into your kidneys and your low back, building those energy reserves, conserving that energy here in water element season. So some ways we can celebrate winter solstice is to invite ourselves to let go of the light in our homes for a day, to be nourished by the glow of candles, to rest in the dark with no computers or smartphones. The short days encourage us to work less and rest more, to follow the rhythm of the light and darkness of nature, in which the yin of darkness encourages more conservation of energy at this time of year. And so this could be something too that you build up to, like we talked about prior to the beginning of this class. So to let go of light in your home for a day might be a big ask right now. But a few years ago, we were focusing on taking a day of silence. And what we did was we built to that slowly. So we would take an hour of silence. So you might take an hour where you rest in darkness with no computers or smartphones. And then maybe once that becomes comfortable, maybe you take 2 hours, maybe you take 3, half a day. And you just, wherever you start where you are. And it can be really beautiful just to take a small amount of time and treat it like homeopathic medicine, like we talked about at the beginning of the class too. So never throw the baby out with the bathwater because it seems like too big of an ask. Take the ask and make it so that it fits in your life. And intentionally set aside some time where you do commune with the darkness, and you set aside the technology and really let go into the beauty of this time of the year, in whatever way that works for you. Okay, so you can go ahead and release this pose from your body. And you can either rest for the rebound on your back or even on your belly here. Okay, we're going to set up for the next pose, which is going to be legs up the wall. If you don't have wall space available for you, then you can always use a chair, or couch. So whatever works best for you in your environment. So take some time to allow yourself to settle in, make any adjustments that are necessary. This is such a great pose to pull and pressurize the bladder meridian, build the reserves in the kidneys and the low back. Let yourself really feel supported by the earth. Earth element moderates water element. So it's earth that holds the water, it keeps the riverbanks from overflowing. It absorbs the water that comes down from the sky, like when the rain falls, when the snow falls, it's the earth that absorbs the water. So water element season, winter, is in the darkness. The motion season is not an easy season for many people. Our dominant culture prefers the more yang qualities of wood element season, the intention setting, planning and new beginnings. The expansion of fire element season, when all the fruit is ripe on the tree and the flowers are in full bloom. Even the harvest of late summer is a time of celebration. At this time of winter and water element season, the most yin, introverted, quiet, slow, internal, introspective, are not as valued by our culture. And yet, it's a time when we can conserve and build our energy reserves, which is such a valuable thing in a collective culture that's pretty consistently burnt out. So soften your jaw, let there be space between your teeth, and feel the growing energy reserves, the energy that's coming back to you as you slow down in this class. This is a poem by Mary Oliver called Lines Written in the Growing Darkness. Every year we have been witness to it, how the world descends into a rich mash in order that it may resume. Every year we have been witness to it, how the world descends into a rich mash in order that it may resume. And therefore, who would cry out to the petals on the ground to stay, knowing as we must how the vivacity of what was is married to the vitality of what will be? I don't say it's easy, but what else will do if the love one claims to have for the world be true? So let us go on, though the sun be swinging east, and the ponds be cold and black, and the sweets of the year be doomed. Every year we have been witness to it, how the world descends into a rich mash, in order that it may resume. And therefore, who would cry out to the petals on the ground to stay, knowing as we must how the vivacity of what was is married to the vitality of what will be? I don't say it's easy, but what else will do if the love one claims to have for the world be true? So let us go on, though the sun be swinging east and the ponds be cold and black, and the sweets of the year be doomed. You're going to slowly bend your knees. Just feel the blood flow come back into your legs. And then you're going to roll to your side and pause there for a moment. And then you're going to bring your mat back. And you're going to need your blanket for your final Shavasana. And you're going to take your blanket and open it up. And we're going to do burrito pose. I think this is Magdalena's favorite. She's here today, so. You're going to do burrito pose. So you're going to wrap your blanket around you as tightly as you can, and when you lie down you can kind of tuck yourself in. So you might want to kind of make it a little strategic so you have something to tuck in when you lie down. So you can tuck in your legs. So you're going to be in this pose for 10 minutes. This is like when you swaddle a baby, you're kind of swaddling yourself here. So this is a poem called Winter's Cloak by Joyce Rupp. This year, I do not want the dark to leave me. I need its wrap of silent stillness, its cloak of long-lasting embrace. Too much light has pulled me away from the chamber of gestation. Let the dawns come late. Let the sunsets arrive early. Let the evenings extend themselves while I lean into the abyss of my being. Let me lie in the cave of my soul, for too much light blinds me, steals the source of revelation. This year, I do not want the dark to leave me. I need its wrap of silent stillness, its cloak of long-lasting embrace. Too much light has pulled me away from the chamber of gestation. Let the dawns come late. Let the sunsets arrive early. Let the evenings extend themselves while I lean into the abyss of my being. Let me lie in the cave of my soul, for too much light blinds me, steals the source of revelation. So gradually allow your breath to deepen. Wiggle your fingers and toes. And start to let the movement become a little bit bigger. You can bend your knees. Roll to your side and pause there for a moment. Have a minute of transition here. And then slowly make your way up to a seated position. Thank you so much for joining me for this winter solstice class. I wish you a very happy winter solstice and holiday season.